local. Have another amazing guest here from AWS. We have Igor Alekseev.
Yeah,
nice
to meet you.
Nice to see you, and thank you for coming on the podcast. I know that you have been on many of our live streams. You're a familiar face to many of our viewers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of background on the top. Well, we're going to be talking about AI, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, let's talk about Bedrock.
And big announcement today.
Exactly. You want to go into a little more detail on that?
Sure. So, do I need an introduction or?
Oh, what for sure. do an introduction. I said your name, but who are you? Why are you here?
Yes, exactly. Why am I here? I'm a partner solutions architect at AWS, and I work closely with MongoDB.
Yes.
MongoDB is a great partner on AWS, and you've heard today Sahir announce integrations with Bedrock. Many of your customers are building generative AI applications.
Yes.
And currently they are basically building it from scratch. They generate embeddings, they populate the MongoDB Atlas vector store. Mm-hmm. They're using those capabilities. We have excellent models such as Titan. And they have to do it either manually or use some kind of alternative frameworks.
Mm.
Now with Bedrocks, we take a more managed approach to building generative AI applications. So Bedrock will generate embeddings for you. You start with your knowledge in S3.
Yeah.
And then it will automatically generate generate embeddings, stored in MongoDB, and then you will be able to use it via Bedrock APIs.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so is there like automation of that? Like we put something new in S3 and it could just...
You will automatically pick it up. Yeah.
Amazing.
And your like logo, you are right on the console, AWS console. Like
nice.
You can select, I want my embeddings to be stored in MongoDB Atlas.
Nice.
It's right there.
Amazing. Well, what are some of the use cases that you've seen so far? I know that the most common use case is the chatbot, right? But what are some other use cases that you've seen?
Well, you know what? People put down chatbots a lot, but in fact, chat is just an interface.
Sure.
It's what's underneath is more interested. Which model is being used?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? I mean, of course, there are now explosion. There are multimodal situations where you can give an image or want to get an image out. There are also situations where your input might be not a text, but maybe a sound. I think there was a great session about the engine sound, right?
Yeah.
Like old mechanics, they can listen to a car and tell
they know exactly, yeah.
Right. But now we can replace them with an LLM.
Mm.
But for that LLM, you need to have your own embeddings model or embeddings model fine-tuned to your specific audio sounds.
Sure.
So that's kind of interesting case, but it requires your own model. There are also video, like try to figure out what's going on in a particular frame, maybe. And there are a variety of models that can specialize tasks. So like there's a lot of attention now to optimization. Like we're kind of getting slowly to maturity.
Sure.
So we're talking now, customers are talking about, can we make the embeddings models smaller so the vectors don't take as much space?
Yes.
How do we do it? Yeah, that kind of stuff is kind of popping up more and more.
Optimizing for what is returned is accurate, but also optimizing for saving money.
That's right.
For many other use cases.
That's right. So smaller vector theoretically should give you faster response, but at the same time, storage costs will be lower.
Exactly.
Yeah, and but you want to do it without losing accuracy.
Sure.
And it's not a simple thing to do, right?
Fine balance there.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And not every use case, there's not like a silver bullet for every use case. You kind of have to tweak things.
Well, that's actually interesting conversation. So there are two schools of thoughts, right? You can take an LLM, use RAG, it will answer the question.
Yeah.
You can take an LLM, fine-tune it.
Yeah.
And it will answer your questions, or provide some response. Or you can build it from scratch. When and how much money to invest to build from scratch. Like if there are no, like large language model understood, right? There is a large corpus of data, but like in case of this engine noise, or any kind of, it doesn't have to be audio noise. It can be any kind of sequential data, right? Like you take a sequence and you try to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
In that case, is there a model out there? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe if it is there, maybe it's not performing, right?
Sure.
You kind of have to figure that out and to test it. And actually model evaluation is almost like another completely different topic.
Yeah. Model evaluation, and prompt engineering. There's so many different aspects to it.
Right. I've heard like funny, interesting approach where you ask a model to generate in a prompt, you say, I will generate for me possible questions and answers, and then use that for evaluation.
Gotcha.
So a model kind of helps you evaluate itself. And it's a mixed human approach versus and the model itself.
Amazing. So as a developer is putting together their proof of concept and then going to production, what are some ways, some roadblocks that they might hit that maybe Bedrock can help with?
So Bedrock definitely can help. It takes more automated approach, so it's more managed. You can quickly do a POC. It is a managed service. It's scalable. So one of the things that can prevent you from going to production is scale, right? So you need to think about that upfront. So if you do serverless applications, serverless orchestration layer, which is what Bedrock is, right? Then you're kind of ready to go to production. And you start with the Bedrock, you put your knowledge there, you already have, and then you interact with it via APIs. That kind of sets you up nicely for production.
Nice.
Your subsequent step might be changing the model. Bedrock just announced fine-tuning of our foundation model, so you can just do a custom model. That will help you to get better results. But your application architecture kind of will be stable, right? You're still interacting with APIs. You have sort of compute that runs, and you have some sort of user experience.
Amazing. What are some of the other key pieces of Bedrock that are going to help developers not have to write boilerplate code? Like it's abstracting a lot of the technology for them, right?
Right. I mean, one of the most important things is a feature that's coming is guardrails.
Okay.
It's you can do PSC without guardrails.
Sure.
You trust but once you start exposing to customers, you're opening yourself to abuse. Right?
Sure.
There could be offensive language that's produced. So, and the guardrails are helping you to design your model design your application in such a way that your answers will be acceptable to your end users.
Yeah, that can take a lot of effort to create that from scratch.
Yes, absolutely. If you do it from scratch, and in fact, that's where all of these applications are going.
Yeah.
The complexity of orchestration is increasing. Customers are using sometimes 2 or 3 models. Give you a simple example. You have your documentation bot, right? A framework.
Yes.
It takes user input and then converts it to a query.
Yes.
So that's one model.
Yep.
Then you take that query, run it against the model to get your answer. Then you take the answer, run it against another model to say, hey, is anything offended here?
Nice.
Any way we can improve it, shorten it, extend more. And you can chain this kind of interactions more and more. Of course, you have to pay attention to latency, and that's
sure.
MongoDB as a source. It has to be fast. Response both from the model and from the context retrievals.
Exactly. Amazing. So let's talk about the future of AI. Where do you think? So a term right now that I'm hearing a lot is agents. Off the top of your head, what is your thoughts on the future of AI?
Well, thank you. Agents is a great kind of capability that's being added to the models. People quickly notice. You ask a stupid question, what time it is, and you're not going to get an answer because the model is a static snapshot in time. Even with the RAG approach, you don't know what the time is, or you will have to kind of add some capability to do that in your orchestration layer.
Right.
So agent is such a way. So definitely agents have been introduced. Multimodal situations are more common now. And complexity of orchestration of the response is increasing.
Yeah.
Also, model was the future, of course. There are also optimizations. People are starting looking, can we do smaller model? Because once you start chaining several models, you will see that responses slow down. Every hop adds a latency. So you need to have faster models. And there's a fine balance between latency and accuracy, right?
Sure.
Anthropic CEO Anthropic today was talking at how they have a Sonnet, Haiku, and Opus, right?
Yeah.
And Haiku is the fastest, and Sonnet is slower but more precise, and Opus is the best, right? So you kind of have to make those trade-offs in your application. I think this is where it's going.
Yeah.
It's going to be multimodal. There will be multiple models.
Yeah.
People will probably have more specialized models. Probably fine-tuning at this point. I'm not sure if they're going to be tuning it from scratch yet. Building from scratch.
Sure, building from scratch. Yeah. I mean, I think that is the way it's going as well. You really, again, it depends on the use case as to what model. You got to do a lot of experimenting at this point in time. There's no silver bullet for any specific use case, but a lot of cool advancements coming from so many different companies, AWS included with Bedrock. So any last words before we go? Appreciate you coming on the show again.
Well, if you're here, stop by. We have a lab today.
Yes.
At 2 o'clock. If you're not, the lab can be actually done in a self-paced manner.
Yeah.
Do try a POC. There is no barrier entries, like MongoDB Atlas as a free tier.
Yeah.
Embeddings are available in the free tier. Vector search is available in the free tier. It's
Nice.
very easy to experiment right now.
Nice.
Just do it.
Where can the viewers go to get started?
To get started, there is a blog recently released on how to work with embeddings.
Okay.
There is a GitHub repository, and we have a workshop. Maybe I'll give you the links later to post on the show.
We'll post that later. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much again for being on the show. And we will be right back after a short break with our next amazing guest.